So, if you're a project manager, chances are you're already using AI to get things done faster. But here's the big question. Are you really leading with it? This is all about making that leap from just being a user of AI tools to becoming a true strategic AI leader in your organization.
I bet this quote from a PMP-certified project manager sounds familiar to a lot of you. It really gets to the heart of a common frustration we're seeing. Yeah, you're using AI, you're automating tasks, you're streamlining workflows, but it's not really giving you more strategic influence. That feeling of being just a more efficient executor, that's exactly the problem we're going to unpack today.
So where does this frustration even come from? Well, what's happening is a huge divide is opening up in our profession. In this new age of AI, project managers are really starting to fall into two very different camps, each with a completely different way of thinking. Let's take a look at what they are. The slide just lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? It shows the two paths opening up right in front of us. Over on the left, you've got the tool user. Their world is all about the here and now. It's very tactical. They're asking, which tool should we buy and what's the immediate ROI? It's all about the quick win. But then on the right, you have the transformation leader, and they are playing a totally different game. Their questions are about the future, about building capability. Not which tool, but what capabilities do we need to build? Not what's the quick ROI, but how is this going to fundamentally change stakeholder expectations? It's a massive, massive difference in perspective. And these, right here, are the kinds of questions that a transformation leader is thinking about constantly. You see, they're not just looking at one tool in isolation. They are analyzing the entire ecosystem. They're asking the tough questions like how AI is going to reshape teams, what new risks we're taking on, and the big one, how do we govern all this without killing innovation? And maybe most importantly, they're asking what new skills do we all need to learn to stay relevant? Now, this idea isn't coming out of thin air. In fact, it lines up perfectly with a framework that I'm sure many of you will recognize from the Project Management Institute. It's called the Leadership Triangle. And here it is, the PMI talent triangle. The tool users we talked about, they tend to live almost exclusively in that technical PM skills slice. But the transformation leaders, they're busy expanding their influence into leadership and into strategic competencies. They see AI not just as another technical tool to master, but as a fundamental strategic and leadership challenge that they have to own. So what does this all mean for your career? Well, this is the crucial part. Career progression is now directly tied to making this mindset shift. After watching this space for over 2 decades, it's clear. The PMs who move up into senior roles aren't just the ones who are great at executing tasks. They're the ones who consistently ask those bigger, strategic questions. Okay, so we've talked about the what and the why. Now it's time for the how. How do you actually lead this kind of massive change? Well, the answer is you apply the same rigor and discipline you'd use for any other major organizational transformation. It's not magic, it's management. A true leader treats AI adoption as a formal program, not just a simple tool rollout. And that means you start with a deep dive, an assessment to see where the organization really is. It means doing detailed stakeholder analysis, mapping out all the new risks and dependencies, and designing a governance framework that actually works, one that balances control with the freedom people need to innovate. It's structured, it's disciplined, and above all, it's strategic. This really gets to the heart of it all. Gaining efficiency from AI, that's now just the bare minimum. It's table stakes. The real, lasting strategic value comes from you leading the charge as AI completely reshapes your role, your team, and your entire organization. And that brings us to the most important part of this whole discussion, your own strategic evolution. This really demands a fundamental shift in how you see yourself and your role as a project manager. So what's the secret? It's about adopting a program manager mindset. It means you have to stop thinking only about the success of your one project. You've got to start thinking about the long-term benefits and the new capabilities you're building for the entire organization. It's a huge shift from a short-term, tactical view to a long-term, strategic one. And let's be crystal clear, this is what it all boils down to. When you look at organizations that are successfully bringing in AI, this strategic mindset is the one consistent thing that separates the tactical doers from the true transformation leaders, who are literally shaping the future of their companies. So I want to leave you with this question to really think about. Beyond just the next cool tool or the next automation trick, what are the big strategic questions you're asking about how AI will impact your work, your team, and your organization? Because how you answer that, well, That's going to define the path you're on.